Welcome to Gamers Platform.
Oh.
Yeah! Good. Oh, baby! Look at that!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Gamers Platform, the only place to be for all your gaming needs. I'm your host, Adam Wolf, and today I've got a technical reactor trailer reaction video on Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart. I am very excited for this game because I'm a huge fan of the series ever since the early days of PS2, and we got a little glimpse of it some time ago, even prior to when the PS5 was released, and it looked amazing. And I honestly am just like chomping at the bit for this game to come out. And so they released a state of play, I think it was a couple days ago, showing off what I'm guessing 16 minutes of gameplay. And as much as I'd like to be surprised, this game's almost out anyway, so I'm like, okay, I want to see what's going on here. And the state of play was kind of crap. It was like 20 minutes tops, and 16 minutes of it was Ratchet and Clank, which is fine, but it's like, you know, there was only a glimpse of a couple other things during the show, and that was it. So I thought that was kind of a waste of time, but that's just me. So we're going to take a look at that gameplay trailer right now and just really soak in all of the graphics that they've shoved into this game. It allegedly, and I'm going to say it probably confirmed, it's going to have ray tracing, which I'm really excited about because ray tracing is just such a great technology. And this will be, I think, one of the first, if not the first, PlayStation 5 title to actually utilize ray tracing. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. But yeah, I can't wait. So let's get to watching this. Mixture of gameplay and cinematic footage. Now, as far as I know, we get a name for her. We know her name, or at least we will get her name in this. Either in this trailer or we already knew her name.
Missing infobot located. Initiating retrieval.
I can't remember her name though. It's something similar to Ratchet.
I'm Smith, creative director of Ratchet and Clank: Rift Apart, a brand new full-length Ratchet and Clank adventure built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5 console. Today we're going to introduce you to some of the gameplay, characters, and arsenal of Rift Apart.
Okay, so they're gonna, you know,
whether you've played every game
introduce
since
her
Ratchet
in
and
this
Clank's debut, or you're brand new to the series, Rift Apart is
debut.
a standalone adventure that you won't want to miss. Let's get into it.
Speaking of Ratchet, look at this. Look. Unbelievable. Right there. Real-time reflections. They look phenomenal, actually. They got real-time reflections, and when we see Clank, if we do see him in this, we should be seeing a lot of real-time reflections in his body. He's metal, so we should be seeing that as well. And it looks like, I'm not sure if they said that they were going with ray trace global illumination. I'm going to assume that they are. But this shot alone right here just looks like a freaking movie. It's unbelievable to look at. And probably real-time lighting as well. Ray trace lighting. But we'll have to see. I do know for a fact, though, that they said ray traced reflections are in this game. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see more.
Wombats? What is this place?
That looks unbelievable. And if this is capped at 30 frames a second so I can have some nice ray tracing, I don't care.
Where are you, Clank? Maybe
Oh my
somewhere around
god,
here.
this looks awesome.
Have any of you seen a little gray robot anywhere? Green eyes, red antenna, very charming.
Nice physics.
Ratchet has been separated from his best friend and partner Clank, and is now in a new
The
dimension.
lighting, the sparks, the particle effects are amazing. Look at the neon. I think it's safe to assume that this game is probably going to be capped off at 30 FPS because they're really pushing for ray tracing to be a part of this. They might go for 2 options, ray trace option and then FPS option. I'm good either way, but I might go with ray tracing because I am a big proponent of it. I think it could add a lot to games.
Ratchet quickly finds out that in this dimension, Dr. Nefarious is a much more capable villain.
Welcome to the Nefarious City Bazaar.
Still dealing with
Please
Nefarious.
remember to thank our marvelous Emperor before, during, and after making your purchase.
Emperor? Does that mean there are 2 Nefariouses
It
now?
looks amazing.
Clank first, Nefarious later. Maybe he's in this bazaar.
Thanks to the
I'm
new
so
hardware,
happy.
The worlds in Rift Apart are more beautiful than ever. Cities are full of life with traffic and civilians
Look at
milling
that.
about everywhere. Rift Apart is full of the unexpected. Characters in this new dimension are not always the same as they were in Ratchet and Clank's dimension. Ratchet comes across Miss Zircon, the weapon vendor in Rift Apart.
Oh my god, those real-time reflections are amazing.
Come right in. Miss Zircon will
I'm really happy. What I was going to say is I'm really happy about the fact that they continued Ratchet and Clank. It was many years before they came out with
The
the
Resistance?
game prior to this one.
Oh, apologies, sugar. Miss Zircon is still new to all of this.
The bloom is amazing. Like, just the little red lights on her head are just so good to look at.
Clank has been taken by a mysterious new Lombax named Rivet.
Rivet, that was her name. Ratchet and Rivet. I was like, it was a pretty obvious name, and I can't remember it.
I need to go after that ship. How can I get off planet?
It's a test. Only royal starships are allowed to leave. Anything else? Oh, Phantom can help. Just follow the beat to Club Nefarious and you will find him.
Club Nefarious, got it. Oh, and nice work, Secret Agent Zircon.
Oh, this is so exciting.
Club Nefarious shouldn't be hard to miss. Better look around.
I'm just looking at the raindrops look good. They do look like when they hit a puddle, they look pretty, you know, they're like, it looks like they're using a standard animation or mapping for that. I'm not entirely sure if anybody's figured out real-time weather yet. Well, in terms of like the 4th dimension or whatever, some, you know, weather that actually affects in real time.
Nefarious? So that
I could be completely
sounds like
wrong.
a
I'm
plot,
pretty
all right.
sure real-time weather patterns have been a thing, but it's probably really hard to mimic that. But the shading, the shadows, the lighting, all of this just looks phenomenal.
Come on, Phantom, where are you?
Once Ratchet finds Phantom, he learns a couple of new moves.
Nice is wall running. Every game's doing wall running now.
One of the focal points of gameplay in Rift Apart is increased mobility. Ratchet can now dash and wall run to traverse levels.
That's so
This
cool.
focus on mobility allows players to chain moves together to create exhilarating combos.
Raritanium in your pockets to upgrade your arsenal further.
Now let's jump into
I just want to play this game now because simply because of the way it looks.
You can distract these troops.
Ratchet and Clank gameplay has been always a great thing. Like they've had a really good formula for years, but this is amazing to look at.
Looks easy enough.
This isn't punishment. It's an opportunity.
Dashing allows you to evade attacks or gain strategic advantages.
I'm a big fan of
Enemies
particle
can't
effects
hit what
too.
they
Like I love
momentarily
particle effects,
resist.
especially when they're done really well.
Dimensional tears in the world allow you to use.
I can't wait to see what kind of guns they have for this game.
To instantly pull
there's that
battlefields to escape or flank enemies.
Already well-known iconic.
Utilize the power of the DualSense wireless
I mean, look at that! Look at how instant that is. That SSD has made the biggest difference in the world for this.
With the burst pistol, players can pull back the trigger partway to peck out accurately placed single shots. But pulling the trigger fully unleashes a rapid-fire spread that covers.
Yeah, I can't wait for these.
In either case, players
for these new weapons that they're coming up with. They look so cool.
With the Enforcer, players can pull the trigger down halfway to fire a single barrel, reducing time between reloads.
Nice.
Or pull the trigger fully and unleash both barrels with a devastating close.
So it's like an electric shotgun.
The haptics, the player will feel the power of their shots through their hands.
So that Rift grappling hook is also used to traverse. That's pretty cool.
As Ratchet attempts to follow Rivet and Clank, he encounters a nefarious juggernaut.
I'm glad to hear that they're actually going to use the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers. I think it should. I mean, first-party titles should definitely take full advantage of all the hardware. Controllers included.
In this fight, more dimensional chaos ensues. Thanks to the power of the SSD, we can near instantly teleport players to completely different locations.
Instantly. It's instant.
This isn't some small arena being loaded, but the entire level from a different planet.
That's unbelievable.
Let's jump over and see what's going on with Rivet and Clank. As you may have guessed, Rivet is a brand new playable character in the series.
Where are you taking me?
I was gonna take you to my hideout, but first I gotta rescue my friends at their
Look at the
Gelatonian
lighting, dude. The volumetric lighting, the god rays are just... That is awesome to look at. I don't even know if this video is in HDR, but I have no doubt in my mind that HDR is going to be a part of this game for sure. But it's just like, that shot alone just looks so good. And I'm assuming this is in 4K. Is this in 4K? It is. Kind of had a feeling because it's a clean picture. And please ignore the train in the background. I really hope that
Rift Apart includes several alternate dimension versions of classic planets.
I really hope that there's animation canceling, to where if you want to go from whacking something to shooting something, it's a little bit more seamless than it has been in the past. Because sometimes I feel like I'm trapped in an animation.
Did we mention how stunning and alive our worlds are?
Stunning,
Thanks
yes.
To the power of the PS5 and the 3D audio, we've been able to create.
Oh yeah, the 3D audio
with
too.
Density like never before.
I had a chance to get the headset. My brother told me about it. It was available on Amazon, and I should have grabbed it when I had the chance, because I was like, I'm gonna wait till I get paid. That was 2 days from then, and what do you know? It's gone.
This wasn't what was in my account last time.
The next round of headsets they're getting for the PlayStation 5 is not until like mid-May, and I'm like, great.
Okay.
In Rift Apart, you get to play with an explosive new arsenal, as well as a few returning classics.
Speaking of the first Ratchet and Clank game on PS4, the only one, it got a PS5 update, 60 FPS, and
how we're using the DualSense.
I don't know if it got ray tracing update. I could be wrong. I'll have to rewatch the Digital Foundry video.
As they prepare a throw of this garden grenade. Once on the ground and spitting out its rapid growth plant fertilizer, players will also feel when enemies
That's
have been
really cool.
and are ready to be trimmed down.
This is what I'm talking about, man. Insomniac Games, they come up with the craziest freaking weapons, but they're so cool. They're so imaginative. I might just be fanboying, but seriously, like, what other game have you seen something where you throw a rod on the ground and it makes things grow on your enemies so they stiffen up and become plants? You know? That's a really cool idea.
Rift tethering and dimensional shifts, there are also many pocket dimensions scattered throughout the game.
And the last Speedo runs into that rift thingy.
Interesting. You must have a rift tether in your glove, too.
Alright, smart
It's a whole
bot.
different
What
level
is this place?
instantly. That's unbelievable.
A dimensional pocket? Perhaps a symptom of the Dimensionator's destruction.
How do you come up with this stuff?
He's a robot. Robots are smart.
Hey, it's Maynard, the Mortis helper bot. Must have wandered in through the rift somehow.
There is the Speedle.
No, don't hide! Ah!
Hitting its nest might get its attention.
Well, hello there.
Say, wake up! And here we go with the riding. That's really cool. The lighting is amazing. I wonder what engine they're using. I want to say it's proprietary, but I could be completely wrong. I'm gonna see if I can look this up while it's going here.
Now, if we could get away from this acid...
Come on, Maynard! Let's find the Morts!
Riding Speedles is one way of traversing Sargasso's acid swamps, and to do so quickly.
Excuse me!
I love the name of Speedle.
I got it!
It's really close to Speedo.
Sometimes I don't crash. Stop! There's the gelatonium factory. I'm coming, Morts.
We didn't follow that Lombax and his Robopet across dimensions just to get stopped by some fuzzballs. So you got like 9.5 seconds to tell us where they're at. 1.
Hang on there now.
If you watched our previous gameplay demo,
Okay,
you
so
may
it is going to have a
recognize the
performance
goons
mode.
for less. This
4K
rebranded
30
gang
ray
has been
tracing
hired by
or
Dr. Nefarious to
60 frames a
attack Ratchet
second
and Clank.
performance, probably
Now
around maybe
also trapped in
1440p or
Rift's dimension.
1080p might
Here's
be
another new
pushing it a bit
weapon.
too
The
far
Shatter Bomb
down,
is a
but
frag-type grenade
they
that
might
deals
try
a
and
lot of
kind of do
damage to
a
foes. With haptic feedback, each explosion feels
like that explosion.
incredibly impactful.
They might actually do something that's more checkerboard rendering to bring it up to 4K or 4K like.
Perhaps they were sucked through the dimensional vortex as well.
Obviously, to support HDR. Ah, it is. No. Sorry. Thought it was a proprietary engine they're developing on. I'm not seeing what engine they're using
Just
here.
a small taste of some of the early gameplay in Rift Apart, but there is so much more. We have open areas to explore.
Nice. I already like those boots.
Dimensional Clank puzzles. Glitch challenges. Arena challenges. Aerial combat. Gold bolts to collect.
Hell yeah, dude.
Pocket dimensions to explore.
Gold bolts are a
Armor
franchise
to
staple.
obtain and use
Dope.
in the first ever Ratchet and Clank photo mode.
Photo mode. You gotta have the photo mode. I'm a big fan of those now.
And giving more people access to playing our games is always important to us. As such, Rift Apart will offer a slew of accessibility options. We'll reveal more about this soon.
Film grain, camera
Experience
shake.
Rift Apart's new planets, weapons, intense high-action combat, and near-instant load times, all with some of the best visuals we've ever created.
Absolutely agree with that. That looks amazing.
These rifts are getting out of hand.
On behalf of all of us at Insomniac Games, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the Omniverse on June 11th.
I mean, it just... Okay, there you go. June 11th. Pre-order now. If you've seen my most recent video, don't pre-order anything through Amazon or any first party or whatever. Don't pre-order physical copies of games online. Don't do it. Anyway, I am blown away. I'm absolutely blown away by the visuals. Obviously, I have full... What's the word I'm looking for? Trust. I trust Insomniac Games to make a great Ratchet and Clank. It's the poster child of their company. Like, that is their game. And I can't wait. I'm really excited. This is just, it's looking amazing. The lighting looks phenomenal. I'm glad that they chose to show off the ray tracing version of the game instead of the performance version of the game, because, you know, yeah, 60 frames a second is nice, and to be honest, I mean, the original Ratchet and Clank was 60 frames a second back on the PS2. A lot of people forget that, you know, that Ratchet and Clank wasn't always 30 frames a second, but the PS3 was kind of a lackluster system. It didn't really have the power, so they dropped it down to 30 frames a second. Obviously, the PS5 certainly has the power, and it's really showing, and I'm really happy that they're offering both modes, because I love graphics and I would prefer the 4K 30 frames a second with ray tracing, because that would just be a stellar experience. Games like this, you don't need 60 frames a second, to be honest. I'm good with 30 frames because it just looks better, in my opinion. I mean, you take a look at the way this game... Oh, let me just do this. Let me just... I'm really... First of all, that is really badass. I like that. I like the fact that we're going to have different armor types and everything. And it looks like it may actually have... maybe that... I don't know if the armors will have an effect on, you know, like, oh, like this will give you more armor or something like that or whatever. I think it might just be cosmetic, but either way, it looks really cool. If it does affect gameplay, that's even better. I like the look of those boots. The motion blur is perfect. I love it. They're going, it looks like they're going with per object motion blur, which is the best. I mean, it looks like they do have some camera motion blur, but on the edges of the screen instead of like all around it, like full screen motion blur, because it's just terrible when it looks like that. So that's good. That way the focus on the center of the screen is clean so that you can actually, you know, see something. I hate it when games actually pull out full screen camera motion blur and it's just everything's blurred. Everything just, you can't see anything when you even just turn the camera. But this one looks like we've got camera blur on the sides, but per object motion blur in the center of the screen, so that way it gives a nice fluid motion look to it. Very, very excited for this one. And it comes out June 11th, so pre-order it if you can, if you'd like to, obviously. I recommend digital if you don't have a store near you or whatever. Don't buy the physical copy through any online retailers, because screw them. They're terrible at making sure that you get your product on time. So anyway, this looks great. I'm really excited. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And are you excited for Ratchet and Clank? I am. I mean, it's one of the best franchises in the world, in the history of gaming, and certainly on the PlayStation 5. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and please join me again in the next trailer reaction video, where we take a look at, let's see, we've got a few, actually. Sorry, I should be rehearsing these. You know what? I don't even know which one I'm going to do. I'm just going to do another one. So join me in the next trailer reaction video, where we can take a look at another game and hopefully be just inspired, you know, at jaw-dropping visuals and gameplay. But until then, I'm Adam Wolf. This was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and I'll see you guys in the next one.